thrilled to have all of you here. We are especially grateful to our co-host extraordinaires who are with us, Dick Aft, Teresa Hall Bartels, and Bill Mills, who will be sharing a little bit about their United Way retiree, United Way Next experience, as well as their long journey with United Way. So before we get too far into this, I will turn it over to Dick Aft to kick off the introduction.
Thank you, Carol. My journey with the United Way Next started in 1990. That's 35 years ago, and that's what we're celebrating. Today, I live in Cincinnati. I really like keeping in touch with colleagues, current, former, future, and I'm delighted to be here today.
Thanks, Dick. Bill.
Yes. Well, it's certainly great to scan the room and see so many people I literally came of age with. And I am still in Alexandria, Virginia. Retired about 14 years ago. I have really been very, very excited to be a part of this because, again, it gets me reconnected with former colleagues, new staff members, as well as alumni that I haven't seen in a long time. So welcome, everybody, and we look forward to our exchange.
Thank you, Bill. Teresa.
Hi, everybody. It's great to see so many great people from my past with United Way, which spans a whole lot longer than I dare to think anymore. Going on, I think it's 48 years. Woo! I live in Lake County, Illinois, about halfway between Chicago and Milwaukee. And I've gotten involved only recently in the last few years with United Way Next, mostly in the membership area and having a wonderful time with Dick Aft writing some newsletter articles. Great to see everybody.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you, Bill, Dick, and Teresa. We are going to ask, a part of these social hours is the opportunity for us to all reconnect, make new friends, see old friends, and really just have a lot of joy in this hour. So we're going to ask that people go around the room and quickly share, give us your name, where you're at today, and what inspired you to attend today's event, the 35th anniversary, or something that you want to share. And we'll make these really quick snippets, and I'll try to go around and call on folks as I see you in my Zoom room. So I'm just going to follow the line of names. So Dallas, would you like to go first, followed by Regina?
Sure thing. Hey, everybody, I'm Dallas Mudd. Where I'm at today, location or company?
Wherever you want to tell us.
I live in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, and I currently work for Find Help. And what inspired me for this event? This is my first event. I just joined United Way Next. I'm excited to be here. I loved all my time and experience and all my friends working with United Way. So I'm just grateful to be here.
And I don't know if you said you're in Arkansas, right?
Yes. Yeah. Northwest Arkansas.
Great. Ivy, there's been a request if we could stop sharing our screen so we can really see people in the room now that we know what everyone's sharing. Okay, great. So Regina, you were next.
Yes, hello, I'm Regina Manning, and I worked with Carol in McHenry County, and McHenry County is just west of where Teresa is. And so we're kind of halfway between Chicago and Rockford. And I was inspired to attend today because I'm really interested in history, and I thought maybe we'd hear some things about United Way Next and how you guys all communicated before Zoom. I'm really kind of curious about that. So anyway, it's nice to see all of you.
Eric Aft.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here. First meeting that I've been in, but staying connected with at least one member in the group pretty closely. But again, Eric Aft, I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where I serve as the CEO of Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina. We cover the 18 counties of the Northwest area of our fine state. And what inspired me to attend, to get some inspiration, this is always, it's such a wonderful group of individuals that during my, let's see, 27 years or 26 years with in the United Way system. So it was a great opportunity to reconnect.
That's great, Eric. Thank you. We hope you will be inspired. I'm going to call on Rob Reifsnyder, followed by Barbara Edmond.
Thanks, Carol. It's great to be with you all. I live in Cincinnati, but right now Gretchen and I are in Hilton Head, South Carolina, which we are enjoying very much. I want to share that in June of this year, Bill Mills and I will celebrate 50 years of being working for United Way or being connected to United Way. We started together in June of 1975 as Group 3 interns. And I think I was the youngest in the group. Bill was the old man of the group.
And I was an old man, you all called me.
At like 29 or something like that, I think, Bill. I'm not sure what you were, but about that. But it's great to be with you all, and good to see some old friends.
Correction, I was 27.
27.
And you all still call me the old intern.
That's great. Barbara.
Hi, everyone. Barbara Edmond. I'm currently at my home in Liberty, Maine, where the snow just melted yesterday. So I'm feeling a little bit of spring. And I attended today because this group and United Way Next always makes me feel like I'm going out for a drink or having dinner with dear friends that I don't get a chance to see. And in fact, I rotated off the board after almost 8 years in December, and I haven't been able to attend anything since then. So I've missed you all, and it's just great to see your faces. So thanks.
We've missed you too. Paul DeBazio, followed by Marissa.
Yeah, well, good morning or afternoon. I guess all afternoon for everybody today. It's good to see everybody. Paul DeBazio. I currently am at the role of board chair for United Way Next. So happy to be in service to all of you as members, and Carol and Ivy as our staff here supporting us. So thanks for all you're doing. I actually wanted to join here today. First of all, anything Dick Gaff's involved in, I want to hear Dick speak. So I knew Dick would be here, so that's one reason. But the other is, my very first trip to United Way Worldwide was when they brought the internship program back, and I was in Boston, and Mike Durkin assigned me to an intern that Boston would receive, Elena Sokolov. And so I went down to the United Way Worldwide. I met Bill Mills. So seeing Bill's name on this invite as well was something I wanted to see. Bill, I know we didn't get to work across too many things, but that was one thing we did work on together. So great seeing you, Bill.
Good seeing you.
Great. Marissa.
Hi everyone, my name is Marissa. I'm calling in today from the Chicago suburb area, and I'm inspired to attend today's event because I love celebration, so I'm not going to miss 35 years. Happy to be here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marissa. Paul Town.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Town, calling in from Columbus, Ohio, and I see a few people that I work with at United Way Worldwide, so it's nice to see some familiar faces and names here. I joined UW Next in the last month, and so this is the first social event that I had the chance to go to, so looking forward to connecting with some old friends and making some new friends, and I currently work in executive search for nonprofits here in Columbus. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for joining. Jeffrey Wilcox, followed by Terry Tolan.
Hi, everyone. Jeffrey Wilcox coming to you from Seattle, Washington, 20 plus years with United Way, Los Angeles, Phoenix. And part of the reason why I'm here is because this is a wonderful way to not only honor an organization, but to honor people who gave our organization real heart. And I was hired by Charles J. Devine at United Way of King County in Seattle. And Chuck Devine was one of the founders of this organization. And this is a wonderful way for me to continue to give tribute to Chuck and a generation of people who we proudly stand on the shoulders of, like Bill Mills and Dick Aft and Rob Reifsnyder.
Jeffrey. Terry.
currently in West Tennessee, Covington, Tennessee, but from Louisville, Kentucky. And the reason I'm here today is because I wanted to see friends old and new, and I'm especially excited about seeing Eric Aft, whom I haven't seen in years and years. But Eric and I have worked together many times over the years, so good to see you, Eric.
Thanks, Terry. Trent Caldwell next, and then Neil.
Hey everybody, my name is Trent Caldwell, and I'm coming to y'all from the Yucatan in Mexico. But enough, and I'm based in Houston. I used to work at the United Way of Greater Atlanta as their enterprise project manager, and now do some consulting work. And what brought me to today was really just being able to take advantage of all of the great things that UW Next has to offer. I'm a new member, and I'm looking forward to learning and getting a ability to connect with everybody here.
Thanks, Trent. Neil.
Thanks, Carol. My name is Neil Parek, and I am in Springfield, Virginia, not far from UWW headquarters. I worked there for about 5 years, so we stayed in the area. After I left, I was at United Way of Snohomish County in Washington, not far from where Jeffrey is. We lived in Seattle for about 15 years before that. I am proud to be on the board this year, joining the board for the first time and chairing the marketing committee. And I am, here today for the same reason that I'm on the board and on the marketing committee. It gives me a chance to reconnect with people that I used to work with. Working with United Way was just an incredible thrill, and I work with a consulting firm now, and being able to work with nonprofits is still a huge highlight, and I get to carry over some of that work into what I'm doing now. But I will give a quick shout out. I did see one of you in person recently. Jenny, thank you for ordering Girl Scout cookies from Emily. It's always good to see you online or in person when we have a chance.
How fun is that? Thanks, Neil. So Winston and then Jenny.
Hey everyone, Winston Faircloth, living in Tampa, Florida. I am here because I was hoping I would see a lot of familiar faces, and I do see our Kentucky, Ohio Mafia is well represented here on the call today. Really glad to be part of this and excited to reconnect.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jenny Palazzo. I'm part of the Alexandria Mafia, and I'm at UWW still. I'm still on the staff. With retirement clear in I've got a plan. So it's going to happen here in the next 12 months-ish. And I'm here, Bill Mills, I will show up for anything where Bill Mills is going to be, because Bill Mills I've known since day one, literally day one, from August of 1985 when I started at UWW. So I'm happy to be here. I've been on a road trip with Terry Tolan through Eastern Kentucky. I've worked for Paul DeBasio. I've worked with Neil. I've worked with a lot of you here. So I'm just happy to reconnect.
That's wonderful. Thanks, Jenny. Keith Barsoon.
Hey there, this is Keith Barsoon talking to you from sunny Florida in the Villages, where I just got to meet a 25-year de Tocqueville member who is a snowbird down here, longtime donor at United Way of Delaware, and also down here as well. As we've been on, I've negotiated about a dozen roundabouts. I'll be stopping here in about 3 minutes, finally. And I've been with United Way now just turning 40 years. Rob's got 50. And it was about 10 years ago that I was on stage at a national conference, a bunch of us getting honored for 30 years, only to get upstaged by one person who walked out on the stage celebrating 40 years, and that was Rob. So you did it again. This is just always a great time to reconnect with so many great people that I've gotten to know, learned from, and worked with, and so it's like Carol, you said it best, one of the best times and events and opportunities to come together. So thank you.
That's great. I believe we've touched everyone except our staff. So Ivy, would you like to go next?
Yeah, so I am Ivy Cirillo. I'm the marketing Communications and Events Manager at United Way Next. I am also a member and originally came from Sioux Empire United Way. I am currently in South Dakota, but I am originally from Florida. So I understand Keith's comment about the roundabouts. I once counted on Google Maps how many there were from my place of work to my grandparents' house in a probably I'd say an hour trip. And I think I counted 46. And I learned that it's just because it's cheaper than putting in lights. So Florida is well known for roundabouts.
That's awesome. So I'm Carol Peters, and I know all of you, which makes me really proud because some of you are new members who have just joined recently, and some of you have been with us for a long time, and several of you are on the board or in work groups or mentoring, and you're just bringing joy into the world through the work through United Way Next. So thank you for being here. I am going to turn it back over, I believe, to our guest speakers who are going to take us down the road of the history. So Dick, I think you've got some presentation planned for us.
All 5 minutes ahead, and I'm delighted to do it. Let's start out with a recollection in the early days of television. A newscaster named John Cameron Swayze. He hosted a weekly TV show called You Were There. Well, during the entire 35-year history, first of United Way Retirees Association, now United Way Next, I was there from the very beginning. And during those decades, 3.5 decades, I've made some observations and come up with some descriptor words that I think do the job. Early reuniting. For years, even beginning at my first United Way conference in 1961. I'm sorry to the old people in this group for going back that far. My boss introduced me to his mentor, Gordon Berg. And Gordon latched on to me, and he introduced me to people whose names are in the history books of United Way. They just got together because they liked one another. The next period, we built our membership, then we shared knowledge and skills. We started reconvening members who had been attending conferences for years, even in retirement, when Bernie Hyman reached out to Wild Acres, a conference center in North Carolina, and invited some of our colleagues and instituted a convening program that goes on to this day. And through all these years, we've supported one another. We've supported active United Way participants. We've trained ourselves. We've trained others. And through all of this, we've continued to serve. Next slide, please. Now, I'm going to go into detail in the next 3 minutes. 35 years of history. So if that doesn't interest you, you could sneak a peek at your email right now, but be sure to come back in 3 minutes. All right. At the beginning, Gordon Berg and Chuck Devine, who were part of a group of their colleagues who continued to meet after retirement, decided it would be good to form an association. They created the United Way Retirees Association. And shortly thereafter, they initiated a newsletter and began to ask people to join an organization. Well, there's Wild Acres in 1996. And the next year, we had a website, first one ever. Continuing on, we specialized in mentoring, plan giving consultation, and even offered crisis services to people who wanted a shoulder to lean on at difficult times. Our members also, over the years, served in interim positions in organizations all over the world, as a matter of fact. And let's see. We honored Gordon Berg in 2005 by creating an endowment fund. If you're not a contributor, I urge you to do so. We did some retirement planning in 2007, and let's move on to 2009. Next slide, please. There we are. We had a webinar series in 2011 called Planning for Retirement. And at that point, our membership rules required you to be over 50 years old to be a member and to have had United Way experience. So planning for retirement was very important. One-on-one coaching, role play video series in 2016. And again, these are just a few highlights. We had a major aging in place program, 2019. 2022, we rebranded United Way Next to include both retirees and alumni, because we realized there were more people who used to work at United Way than had retired from United Way. Some of you, Neil, Eric, and others are good examples of alumni. In 2003, something very important and near and dear to my heart, we energized our diversity, equity, and inclusion programming. That's now a serious area of concern all over our country. And I'm very glad that United Way Next is a leader in this regard. In 2004, we really started promoting a wonderful involvement with the third sector companies' interim executive leadership program. Jeffrey, thank you for that. And today we are with an expanded staff team. We're celebrating 35 years. And as I look ahead, my crystal ball says we've got some really neat things for United Way Next.
Thank you, Dick. That was wonderful. I love the history, and I love the, walking down memory lane, thinking about the history of United Way retirees and how it's evolved.
Thank you.
I'm glad we eliminated the age range so that everyone could be a part of this, right? How exciting is that? Teresa and Bill, I know that we want all three of you to have an opportunity to really share a little bit more around sharing your fond memories. And we're going to encourage everyone to really be a part of this. This isn't really a presentation as much as it's a conversation. So Teresa, Bill, and Dick, I'll let you kind of kick this off.
Well, I'll jump in, and if nobody else is going, ladies first. I really got interested in United Way Retirees Association when I was president of United Way International. For those of you who don't know that history, United Way International was a small organization spun off from United Way of America, trying to serve 45 countries around the world with a very small staff of about 22 people at the time that I became president. And we knew that we were trying to create United Way worldwide. So we relied on United Way Retirees Association to help us with some of those developing United Ways in other parts of the world. Dick and Mary Lou Aft were our yeoman volunteers to travel all over the place and really help to kick off United Ways in a number of countries. And Dick, you can probably fill us in on exactly which ones. But that really got me interested in the work that United Way Retirees Association was doing. And I've continued to be a member because United Way is in my blood. I was a professional for 10 years. Like Rob and Bill, I started in the intern program, worked locally, worked for United Way of America, and had the great fortune of working with my mentor, Bob Bagan. And many years later, Bob invited me, after I was working with my husband in our staffing business, to be on the board of United Way International, which is how I ended up back kind of in an interim role for, well, it turned into 3.5 years, but just interim, as we created United Way Worldwide. I'm enjoying now the opportunity to reconnect with so many people and to meet some new folks that are involved with United Way Next, and recognize that we're all younger than we think we are. Right, Dick? Bill?
Oh, okay. Actually, my journey with United Way Retirees Association and United Way Next started when I was still a staff member at first United Way of America, then transitioning over to United Way Worldwide. Back in the early 90s, when I got a promotion as Vice President for External Human Resources that handled the career development and executive search function for the field, one of the things that also was in my particular department was giving support to the United Way Retirees Association. And it also provided financial assistance to the organization through my budget. So I had to transfer the dollars annually to the association, as well as I worked with the retirees in terms of when they would come to the office for meetings, we would line up the necessary support. When the organization did its newsletters, we would facilitate it through the print shop and then getting the mailings out, all of the, support functions to the organization early on. As we worked further, and I particularly remember working a lot with Tricia Smith. We actually started to try to energize the mentoring program, particularly for new CEOs and staff in general, using the talents of United Way retirees members. We were able to really connect a lot of people with talent and experienced leaders to help them navigate their career paths. And that was really a very successful program. The program, however, started to wane somewhat, and it was not as active, particularly when things changed at United Way, and there was a time when I think it was Dick and I started to discuss how can we energize the mentoring program. And that's when we really started to work with the new staff of United Way the talent team, and get them very much involved in re-energizing that mentoring program. And it was very broad. It was targeted specifically for new CEOs to help jumpstart their role, but it was also, again, put online. We had an online kind of capacity, so mentor match, so that individuals who were interested in a mentor could go look, read the bio of the various mentors and make a decision about, who they wanted to approach. And that, became energized again. In addition, we worked very closely with the retirees in putting together a quick start guide. And that quick start guide was very, very effective because we had to go across the organization to really get help putting that book together. And it was done as it was a self-starter, but it had categories and individuals, if they wanted help, let's say in the community agency and community relations area, they could look at all of the resources there. or resource development. They could look at the resources for that area. The same with the other areas of the other functions of United Way. So again, we had my staff team and I worked very, very closely with United Way Retirees Association. And of course, when I retired, I actually became a member of the board, was on several committees, and really, really enjoyed the program committee. And of course, when I rotated after 6 years off the board, it was really very great to connect through Jeffrey with the DEI committee and be a part of taking to the board a new statement that was approved, and it became our commitment to diversity, equity, and it was well received. Also, what I truly enjoyed was working with the subgroup on programs, and we did a number of educational seminars that several of you, quite a few of you participated in. So my involvement has been great. I have fond memories of many things. One in particular was the event that Barbara and Susan Gilmore and I coordinated, the gathering in Alexandria. And that was a memorable event. You know, we took the participants to the National Museum of African American Culture and History. We went to one of the United Way agencies that prepared young people to become chefs, and they fixed lunch for us, or late, it was a late lunch for us, and we got a chance to interact with them. Brian Gallagher at the United Way Worldwide gave us a wonderful reception. It was just a very, very touching event. But I've enjoyed all of the gatherings that I have participated in and have very fond memories of all. So that's it for me.
Well, Bill and Teresa, you are tough acts to follow. Teresa, you are becoming a marvelous historian, and I hope will succeed me at some point. Bill, such wonderful memories, but you didn't mention that you're also a poet, or that you travel the Southeast with my wife, Mary Lou, doing cleaning of all sorts of smaller community United Ways out of
Thank you.
Atlanta. What great fun. To answer Teresa's question, yes, Mary Lou, who had been a national training volunteer for American Red Cross, and I made lots of trips overseas. We helped start United Ways in Hungary, Poland, Romania, Indonesia, and two bummers that didn't follow up, Kazakhstan and Ireland, of all places. It's harder to put a fledgling United Way out of business than it is to put one into business. Sometimes the bummers just didn't want to let go. My career, 7 CEO positions or chief operating officer positions over 40 years, the last 14 in Cincinnati. Following that, I was interim president in Columbus for 6 months when Brian Gallagher went to United Way of America. And then I was interim CEO in Philadelphia when Chris James Brown went to United Way International and then Child Welfare League of America. How did I get into this work? I came into United Way because I wanted a shortcut up the corporate ladder. And I wanted to earn a living also. At my college career conference in 1959, the president of Carson Perry Scott and Company, a major retailer department store in Chicago, spoke. After his presentation, during which he mentioned he had been with the United Way in Indianapolis, I said, Mr. Martin, how did you go from the United Way to business? And he said, my board chair said, Virgil, I like the way you work. Come work for me in my department store. And here I am, president of a large department. How many years did it take you to do that, Mr. Martin? 22 years. And if I joined your company, how long might it take me to get a job like yours? Well, 24 or 25 years if you're really lucky. So I said, what's this United Way business all about? And in 1960, I became one of 3 recipients of one of the first intern programs called the FACTS Scholars, Fund and Council Training Scholarships. We were given to our master's degree programs with a commitment that we'd sweat off those scholarships with an equal number of years working in United Way. So that's my story, and I'd love to hear from others.
Yeah, so we're going to open it up and really would love to have some of you share your memories and experiences with all of us today. So don't be shy.
And if no one wants to start, I'm more than happy to. So I've already introduced myself as Ivy Cirillo. I work with United Way Next, but I originally started with a local United Way in South Dakota. I joined with them in 2023. By 2024, I attended my first event with Next, and I saw them in the Global Digest emails that many of us have received. And from there, I think I attended about 4 or 6 events, had a couple of one-on-ones with Carol, and then was lucky enough to secure this position.
So I'll jump in real quick. Dallas Mudd again from Arkansas. I loved hearing that story, all those stories, and I'm really jealous that I did not get in on this internship program. I mean, that's just I'm hearing this and I'm like, where was this when I was with United Way? I was like, because it sounds absolutely phenomenal. But so thank y'all. Thank you for sharing and you know, giving me some more context of the history. And you know, I never even knew United Way International was a thing. I've always thought it was United Way America and United Way Worldwide. You know, and I'm new to the group and I'm learning. But my passion has always been United Way. You know, granted, I left United Way but I went to a company that I see the potential for, you know, some greater good for everybody. But why I went to the United Way was, you know, life experiences. You know, I'm one of those kids that, you know, everybody's got a poor story. Well, you know, I was 5 high schools poor, meaning I went to 5 different high schools because I watched my mom struggle. And I don't know if anybody remembers back in the 80s, there was like 0 rent protections. I mean, you missed rent and you're gone. And so we moved a lot. And but I watched my mom struggle and I got my education, my military experience and all that. And I'm like, there has got to be a better thing out there for people, you know, to support communities, to support people. So that's what got me to the United Way. And I absolutely loved it. And I loved hearing the stories of everybody and your experiences. And I am jealous. I'm just going to throw that out there. But I'm excited to be part of this group to just connect with everybody and learn more of how I can continue to add value to the United Way and 211 Network. So thank y'all for sharing.
Dallas, what are those dead animals behind you?
So those are state record trout for the state of Arkansas, brother. If you can't tell, I love to fish. And I love to play music. I play violin, I play guitar. I'm a disabled veteran. So all of this is also, you know, conversation pieces. Anybody that's ever asked for money via Zoom, you all know you got to keep them on the phone as long as you can. So I have all my conversation pieces behind me. So this is Charlie. He's a 9.5-pound rainbow trout. And this is Frank, and he was a 6.5-pound rainbow trout, which doesn't sound big, but for the bodies of water I caught them in, they were records. I run an organization called Project Healing Waters here in Arkansas, which is fly fishing therapy for disabled veterans. So I do that, and that's part of what I'm displaying here. My music, I'm also part of another veteran organization called Soldier Song and Jam, where we teach veterans how to play guitar and how to sing. And I don't sing. So I'm also on the church ministry team, and they took my mic away. And they're like, hey, you don't need this. So I'm just going to leave it out there that I am not a singer. And my entire congregation recognized that and took my mic away.
Wonderful.
But
How
I
nice
I
to be-
pour everything I am back into others, because for me, that's where life happens. You know, making other people's life better is what we should all be doing. And I guess at the end of me saying all that, that's why I'm here in this meeting. How can I continue to make other people's life better?
Thank you.
Thanks, Dallas. Barbara, Edmund, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I'll just jump in. What I didn't say before for folks who don't know me, I spent 26 years with United Way. I didn't start there though. I spent 10 years working out of college, but in 1989, or was it 89? No, it was 87 when I got my first job in a local United Way. I got hooked on what was then the mission, you know, to increase the organized capacity of people to care for one another. And as many of us will know, I drank the Kool-Aid. And I was like, how cool is that to be able to live my life in an organization that does this for work? And along the way, I met so many of you. I met Rob and Terry and Dick on MPC. And then I went to work actually, United Way of America first, then worldwide, and got to work alongside. I had the pleasure of having the office and the privilege right next to Bill Mills. So we were partners in crime, but worked with Jenny, worked with Teresa when she was in the building, and then worked with many people in the field that I met along the way, which is Paul and Jeff and lots of other people. And those of you who, and Winston, we connected along the way. And those of you I'm just meeting today for the first time, I know that we could sit down and have a great conversation, because anybody that ever works for United Way knows what I'm talking about. And so for me, yes, United Way Next is the opportunity to connect with people who I worked with, admire, respect, know, and love. But it's also, for me, Dick has the thing about his legacy of the history. For me, it's the legacy of the spirit. I think this organization is the place that keeps the spirit of United Way alive in a way that United Way Worldwide really can't. When you're with United Way currently and working, you're about the doing. And I think when you step back and reflect back about how wonderful this organization is, then you're about the being. I am a United Way professional. I was, I am, and I always will be. And the last thing I'll share is that when Angela, joined as president several years back, we were all a little concerned because she'd never worked for United Way, and how would she find out about this spirit thing? And so we all got together, and many of you participated, where we made a little gift for her, where people wrote quotes about what the spirit of United Way meant to us. And we made this little desktop flip thing where she could see that we were about this spirit. It's more than a job to all of us. So I'm thrilled we're celebrating 35 years. I think we have a whole lot more to go, but I'm so happy to know all of you, new people today and people that I've known for a long time.
Thank you, Barbara. Paul, I saw your hand up.
Yeah, and some of you may have also started this way. I'm not sure, but I really got involved with United Way literally the day I turned 16. I went down to a local supermarket, signed up for an application for a job. I was given a job because supermarkets needed people. And the first thing they said as I was filling out paperwork was, we run a United Way campaign. Would you be willing to give $1 a week to support your community? So, and the way they positioned it and framed it back then was, that's 2 cans of Coke, give up 2 cans of Coke a week. And so I've been a donor for 44 years now. And I was fortunate that the company I worked with out of college, even though based in Chattanooga, Tennessee, was also a real strong supporter of United Way down in Chattanooga. And even though I was based in Boston, I continued to support United Way, right from being a high school student, college student, and then my first full-time job. And that led to making the move, wanting to feel better about what I was doing. I was, I was in sales, very successful, but got more value out of my volunteer work, which were with United Way agencies in the Boston area. So I made the move and began working for United Way now 25 years ago. So, going from $1 a week as a 16-year-old to being in this great position of working with all of you as a board member and board chair for United Way Next is sort of, I don't know if that's full circle or not, but it just shows the power that any individual can make a difference. And once you get engaged and stay involved, those differences can multiply as well. So just wanted to share that story. And Mike Durkin was the first. So Rob, I know we like to pick on Mike, but man, he was the first person to ask me for a Tocqueville gift. So I give him credit of pushing me to that level. So from $1 a week to a Tocqueville donor over a number of years.
Thanks, Paul. Keith, I see your hand is up.
Well, I have to echo, and Paul, you reminded me about what it meant to start being the first time donor in United Way. I too was 16 working in a grocery store, but it didn't go that way. My manager, a New Yorker, said, "Hey, Keith, there's this United Way campaign thing. I don't know what the hell they do, but they say they do some good. You can do payroll deduction. I don't give a darn what you do." And that was this inspirational speech that had me do $1 a week. So just had to build on that. But I really wanted to bring up, not because I see Winston and Rob, and I actually had a meeting today with some of the leadership of UPIC. And I might have not mentioned this. I'm the interim president and CEO here in United Way of Lake and Sumter County, Florida. And so we just transitioned our finance operations to UPIC, which is wonderful. But I also think of the start of UPIC, the brainchild, I guess, of Rob and Winston, maybe Brian Gallagher, I don't know. The three United Ways we were in Lexington, Cincinnati, Columbus got together and figured out this collective pledge processing operation. I remember a couple of meetings in that dive bar restaurant outside of Wilmington, Ohio. Somehow that was Center Place. Maybe one of you guys remember it. I don't. But I will say, look what UPIC has become today. A real powerful, effective organization helping local United Ways with those back office, redundant type operations, and they do a pretty good job of it. So really proud. Winston took it really the reins of it and made it into really so much of what it is today. So, Winston, congratulations for what you got accomplished and enjoyed being part of that first little idea, trying to do some joint pledge processing among a few communities. That's really what it's all about.
I hate
Should be a book about it, Dick.
I hate to interrupt you, but I hosted that meeting outside of Wilmington.
Oh, okay. See, it's my old age. I forgot.
It was not a dive bar. It was a dump.
There you go.
Awesome. Jeffrey, I think we have time for one more. Go ahead.
So my involvement with United Way was a two-step process, and I'm proud to say both times it found me, and I've never let go. When I was working on my graduate project, United Way of King County in Seattle had been selected as one of 5 test sites by the Kellogg Foundation to taste something called the Boardwalk Series. Could you actually train boards to be good board people? And so at the end of that test, there was the need for an evaluation to see if the Boardwalk Series actually worked. And so my graduate project was to work on seeing the effectiveness of the Boardwalk Series by an organization I'd never heard of, basically called United Way. And that whole process of talking with board people all throughout the city and so forth changed me. Here's the second part. I'm the son of a newspaper publisher. And so when I graduated from college, I was part of a major magazine in Seattle. And in that year, the Points of Light Foundation declared something called National Volunteer Week. And the publisher of the newspaper the magazine asked me into his office, and he said, "I want you to find people in the city of Seattle that have never, ever, ever been thanked for the marvelous work that they do to make our city so wonderful." And so I, eager beaver, found some incredible people who did incredible stuff, and the magazine came out. Here's the rest of the story. Charles J. Devine at United Way of King County read that magazine article, and he said to me, "I'd like to see you in my office." I didn't know who he was. He read about the stories of people who were making a city he dearly loved so wonderful. And with a pipe in his mouth, because in those days, United Way presidents could sit in their leather chairs with a pipe in their mouth, sat across from me, and he said, "Son, you're going to come work for me." And the rest of it's history.
Oh my gosh. I don't know that we could top that
that's-
one, Jeffrey. That is that just brings it full circle. What a joy. It's such a joy to hear all the stories. And, when I look at Teresa, I think about the fact that I lived probably no more than 45 miles from her for many years. And it really wasn't until we connected through United Way Next that we realized what a rich connection we had, from even her husband reaching out to me many years ago when I was at the United Way, and he was encouraging me to get involved with another organization in the community that helped with independent living and people with disabilities as the United Way. And it was just so fun to see the connection. And then Teresa and I later realized that some of my closest friends worked for her and her husband through their company and called Manpower. So, just like a small family, right? It's just 6 degrees of separation. So,
I just want to echo what I hear as sort of a theme. Nobody grows up thinking I want to be a United Way professional. Well, maybe Eric did, but most of us, it's a fluke. It's something that happened, but it's in our blood. And even when we leave Dallas, I left to go into business with my husband, but I stayed involved as a volunteer for all of these years. So it really is the spirit that Barbara was talking about that this organization embodies, and I love that.
thank you, Teresa. So we're nearing the end of the time together. I hope that you have felt inspired, excited, rejuvenated, joyful. That is the purpose of this time together, to reconnect and really spend time with one another. I know a few folks are jumping off because it's getting close to the end of the hour. So I'm going to give Ivy just a few minutes to provide some updates. And then Dick, you'll be able to wrap it up and bring us home.
Wrap up comments. What can we do to help celebrate this 35th anniversary? We've got a lot of upcoming events. If this is your first, I'm positive it won't be your last, but there are many things ranging from webinars to social hours, to educational programs, to opportunities to be of service. And also, we've got a leadership giving program, surprise, surprise, for people with United Way experience. For only $100 a year, you can join that giving circle. Seriously, folks, we need the money. Programs like this are not too expensive, but we got to pay the bills. And so far, thanks to a number of generous alumni, local communities, and retirees, and two special contributors, Mutual of America and United Way Worldwide, we've continued to stay just above the tide. So there we are. We also have the Gordon Bird Memorial Endowment. There are a few of us who've made gifts large enough to name funds. But if you start giving now and continue to give for a while, at some point, you too will have your name go down next to Gordon Bird's in history. So there you are. It sure has been fun. Carol, Ivy, thank you for the technical support. Carol, I'll turn it back to you for closing, with great appreciation for an opportunity to have been part of this program with all of you.
Thank you, Dick. Well, I want to first say thanks to Bill Mills, Dick Aft, and Teresa Bartels for all that you've done to co-host this and kick off our 35th year anniversary celebration. There will be more activities planned throughout the year. I want to make sure Ivy has a moment to wrap it up because I know she had some parting comments, and I don't want to assume I know exactly if there was anything else that we wanted to cover here at the end before we close it out.
Perfect. Yeah, Jenny, unfortunately, I don't think there will be cake, but please eat some on our behalf. And there will be one more slide that I want to get into quickly. I just wanted to let everyone know I will follow up with an email afterwards with the link to the recording, and then I will make sure that anything we mentioned today, I'll make sure that you have access to. And then I'm going to hand it over to Bill really quickly because we had a surprise at the end of our presentation.
Yes, thank you. You know, it's always interesting when the right moment and opportunity converge. I'm about to unveil a surprise for one of our people. Happy birthday, Teresa.
You are the
Although it's
master at
tomorrow,
remembering
I know
birthdays,
it's
Bill
tomorrow,
Mills.
but happy birthday. You want to lead us in a song in Happy Birthday, Carol, real quick, just a couple of lines of it.
So I love
That's
to
enough. Thank you, Bill.
Happy to do it. Happy birthday
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear
Teresa.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
The dogs are barking. They got in on it.
I was expecting a solo, Dallas.
No, nobody wants that. Nobody needs that.
Thank you,
And
Bill. You're
that's-
always so good about remembering birthdays.
That's what I was talking about
Yeah.
earlier, the Bill Mills birthday post.
Yeah, they're the best.
Epic.
They're the best.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, this is great.
Thank
Thanks to everybody for being here today. We look forward to you joining us at our next social hour. We're planning another gathering for all of you in July with our newest board members. And then in October, we're hoping to have some of the hosts of our past gatherings so we can go down memory lane to talk about all the locations of places that we've gone. And then we'll round out the year with our board chair, Paul DeBazio, and incoming chair, Ann Fox, who will round out the year in December with a kind of a wrap up for the year. So just stay tuned, watch your inbox. There will be more things coming your way regarding the endowment, our anniversary campaign, and all the good things that we're working on. So thanks, everyone.
Yeah, and then Neil just put in the chat if we wanted to do a quick photo real quick. I can go ahead and do that from this screen if you guys are comfortable being in it.
Okay.
And if someone wants to do a countdown, I will just get ready.
Yeah, sure. Can I ask, Keith, is it possible if you turn your phone sideways for the picture?
Sideways. Okay. Am I sideways? I didn't even realize that.
No, you're good.
Good now.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, just turn it sideways.
Oh,
And then
messed
you'll
it up.
pull the
Turn it
screen, but
back.
didn't rotate.
Yeah.
Turn it back.
Sorry.
Turn it back.
He was
That's
joking.
what I thought.
You
I
were
just
that
saw.
way.
I just saw in the chat. I was talking sideways, which I'm
No worries.
told that every day
I'll count you
by
down,
my wife.
Ivy.
Yeah.
Everyone look at the camera and smile. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Great.
got it.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
y'all.
Thanks.
Good to see you all.
Good to see you all.
Good seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Everyone, good to
Bye.
see you.